Welcome back, everyone, to another stellar episode of the Vegans Who Live podcast, brought to you by your favorite vegans. We got Brooke Sellers, aka Miss Meatless Muscle, and myself, John Thomas, aka the Bodybuilding Vegan. Brooke, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's been a while, so I feel a little bit rusty coming on.
It has been a while. We've not spoken as much in the past week or two as we normally do. Um,
Yeah.
we've both been busy. Both been up to stuff. What have you been up to? I already know the answer, but for everybody listening.
Oh yeah, well I just got back from a week vacation in Tulum and it was like a real vacation. I left my laptop at home and it was like yeah, some really nice downtime, reduced my screen time by about like 9 hours. So yeah, it was really nice. So I did take a huge step back. But yeah, I'm glad to be back.
Oh, sounds like fun. Is this your second or third time there?
This is my second time there.
Second time. Okay. Yep. I
Yeah.
remember the first time you went. I remember seeing all the food. Um,
Yeah,
cool.
it was much better this time. Last time I went post show, and I'll never go post show on a trip again just because you do not I didn't, but no one warned me. No, like my coach wasn't like, well, you're gonna rebound really hard like the next week. So it's probably best like wait a few weeks before you go on your trip. So I was like rebounding from my show in Tulum. And not only that, but we went in June because we didn't do any sort of like prior planning. We were just like, yeah, we look amazing. We just got out of our show. So let's just go in June. And it was like hot as fuck. Hot as fuck. I mean, it was like miserable. I mean, it was 84 in December when I
Oh
just
wow.
went. So, like it's like over 100 degrees in June. So this time it was much better. Much, much better. Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. I'm actually going to Puerto Rico in a couple weeks. My first time ever there. So we'll dive more into that later probably.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
I was about to be like, what have I been up to? Well, I moved. I'm now officially homeless. I'm actually in Allie's home right now as we record this. But I've been staying with her and then with Alex Nearest. Been staying with him too because I'm planning to head out to Arizona around February for at least a month, maybe two, and then Colorado for at least a month, and then maybe Utah or maybe California. So like I didn't really want to hop into another lease. So I'm like literally see if I can do this. I have like all of my stuff right there. Like, I mean, I got a giant storage unit filled to the top with stuff, but like I'm just trying to live out of a few bags and it's so not me. If anybody that knows me knows I have so much stuff to just function as the bodybuilding vegan and it is weird living out of like 6 bags. So, uh,
Yeah, that's
changes.
crazy. I don't think I could do
I'm
it.
I'm trying. I've learned whenever you go through something hard, if you approach it in the right way, if you view it as an opportunity for growth, that's what I'm doing. I'm like, what shirts do I really need the next 3 to 6 months, and which ones can go to storage? And if I don't open them up in storage after 6 months and like be like, "Oh, I've been missing this shirt, then I probably didn't need it. Because like I had a 15-month lease and I went to pack up to put stuff in storage and I found a box that I had forgot to open when I moved in. I guess I
Mm.
didn't need anything in that box. It was 15 months. But back to shirts, for those of you that are watching, I did
Ah,
have to keep
yes, that's
my
an old one.
my original OG Meatless Muscle shirt. I had to keep that one. So gotta rep Brooke every now and again. Um yeah,
Love
so I've
it.
been doing that and then running around trying to coordinate a charity event. That's in like the biggest area I've been putting a lot of extra time into. We're doing, by the time this is live, it'll be over with. But myself and Alex Walsh, who's been on the podcast, aka Box, and Alex Nearest, we're going to walk 100,000 steps, possibly split between two of us, like maybe 50,000 each, but that's still like 24 miles. And we're going to walk to 5 or 6 vegan restaurants in Tampa and try and encourage people to donate. The goal is $10,000 to Karma Farm Sanctuary and other animal sanctuaries like that that provide shelter and care for animals that are victims of animal abuse. So trying to trying to do that and just coordinate with all the vendors and find out, or the store owners, find out when they're going to be there and how to donate money, and making flyers today and live streaming the whole thing. Alex has this like contraption that you can like set in front of you, and so like as you're walking around, this contraption is like 3 feet out in front of your face, so you don't have to hold your phone the whole time. So we're going to try and live stream for like 12 hours while we're walking. But
Oh my gosh.
yeah, so that'll be Saturday, waking up at like 6 and walking until 7 or 8 p.m. probably. Yeah,
Damn.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot of steps.
So you can tune in. But yeah, so that's been where I've been. What are we talking about today?
Today we were talking about everybody's favorite topic, how to stay on track during the holidays.
Okay, this is perfect because we just had Thanksgiving and kind of Halloween, but I don't feel like as many people binge on Halloween as Thanksgiving, and we got Christmas coming up around the corner, possibly right around the time of this episode releasing. So, how was Thanksgiving for you this year? I feel like that's a pertinent question to ask.
Yeah, Thanksgiving was good for me this year, especially compared to past Thanksgivings. I I just have a way better relationship with food than I ever have. And I mean, I have to be completely honest, I do feel like that's one part of bodybuilding, like going through prep. I feel like that messed me up. That the first holiday that I had after I had been competing, it was just so much food that I couldn't have for so long, and so I just went crazy because it's like somehow in my mind it still felt like I'm not going to be able to have this again, so I better have it today and then have as much as I want because I'll never. But that's obviously not even close to the truth. So this year, and I will say, going through all my gut issues changed me a lot and just how I view food and my health and just things that I put in my body. I just don't have that like urge anymore to just like cram shit in my body that I know is not serving me. Like I just like it gives me anxiety more than anything. I just have so I think really I have a better relationship with my body. I just see it as
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, this, like, what is this food gonna do to me? I'm gonna feel like shit. I'm gonna be bloated. I'm gonna totally regret this. So, like, why am I gonna do it? So, this Thanksgiving, I had one plate of food. I really enjoyed it. It was really good. Um, and I just left it at that. I did have a little bit of leftovers. There was a little bit of pecan pie left, and me and my boyfriend split it at night. And to my surprise, I woke up and I hit my goal of 160 pounds the next day after Thanksgiving, which was insane. I lost like 3 pounds overnight. So I was like, okay, well, that was cool. That was like the universe telling me, like, good job, Brooke. Like, you did good this year. Like, we'll give you a little gift before you go to Mexico. So yeah, Thanksgiving was good for me this year for sure.
Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. I'm really happy for you. I do want to ask before I go into mine, what was like your favorite or top two favorite dishes? And did you make it or did you get it? How did you? Yeah, yeah.
Yes, me and my mom made everything. We had a really good broccoli salad. I made the dressing from tofu. It was really good. We a sweet potato casserole. That's probably my favorite thing. I did try the roast from Big Mountain Foods. I was very impressed with that. That was probably a close second. It was really good. To me, it was better than the Trader Joe's, which I've always loved that roast. So I was really surprised with how good that was. And we had some rolls that were good. Um, and some potatoes, mashed potatoes. Yeah, everything was solid, really good, delicious. I mean, I could have easily eaten 2 to 3 plates if I really wanted to. It was that good. So
Uh, that's awesome. That's a lot of food. Yeah, my family always goes all out and I don't even cook. I hate to be I'm not trying to be lazy. Like I offer to clean. I did clean a lot of the food up, like dishes and stuff after, but like I already knew there was going to be too much food. And actually this year was very special in some ways. Alex Nearest came with us and so did Allie. So that was both first vegan Thanksgivings for them ever. It's Allie's first Thanksgiving anyways that she's vegan. And I think it was Alex's fifth or sixth. but their first time actually having a full Thanksgiving meal that was vegan. So that was really cool. My family, my mom, my brother, my sister, my brother's ex-girlfriend, and yeah, I think that was it. Were the chefs, and my sister has been carrying on now that my dad's not here, his vegan dressing that he decided to make, like probably about 8 or 9 years ago. He just decided, you know what, I'm tired of cooking vegan Thanksgiving and non-vegan Thanksgiving, so I'm just cooking vegan Thanksgiving. So he would make dressing. There was mashed potatoes. There was a sweet potato casserole. There were mashed potatoes with like bacon bits and cheese. There was mac and cheese. There were all different veggies like squash and green beans, peas. Off the top of my head, my mom makes these sausage balls. Um, Man, I feel like I'm missing like half because there was more. There was and then Allie made she's Cuban, so she made some rice, black beans, and yuca. Man, that thing is good. And it's crazy because we have a little voting thing. We go around the table and vote on our favorite food or our top three. And every single person included her black beans and rice. And I was like, haha, I brought a winner. But anyways, I really enjoyed the food. It is a special time of year for me because like my dad did do that for us. And now that he's not here, my sister has really nailed it each year, like kind of keeping it going. Um, and I think last year I was right out of a show, like you said. Don't do things right after a show. I had my show November 11th last year, and like got Thanksgiving was like I don't know the 20 whatever, like literally 2 weeks later. So I was still super lean. Ate myself literally sick and injured. Like my stomach, my abs separated. Like this was not an overeating experience. This was probably like 12 to 14,000 calories. Eating bowls of cereal at night, like I don't even remember the day, to be honest with you. Like, I just remember actually not a whole lot. I don't think I was very present at all. So, loop that into this year. I decided to vlog the whole day as a way to keep myself accountable. I'd already talked to you, Brooke, a little bit, and you gave me some really good advice on. I think you had said to journal like how I was going to feel before and then how did I feel after each meal. And I did my best to do it before. And I was pretty accurate with my prediction each time, like how I was going to feel after. I did actually put it up, so if anybody wants to go check, it's on my YouTube channel. But I worked also with Louis Ordaz, who is a actual licensed therapist, and he runs a small gym out here in Tampa. So he kind of has knowledge of what it's like to be a lifter, and he works with other bodybuilders, and he does kind of like mental health coaching. And I think I rated myself like a C plus, which I'm pretty hard on myself. And if I'm being honest, since 2014, I've had an F every year. I have had binge eating, disordered eating on Thanksgiving, literally every year for what would have been a decade. This year broke that decade. Now I overate, no doubt, probably had like 6, maybe 7,000 calories. However, I don't recall being in pain from how much I ate. So for me, that was a really big win. I also wasn't thinking about food the entire day. There were times where like my family went on a walk and I thought about food more than I would have liked. But overall, I was a lot more present. And I think vlogging it and having to record everything, like Allie asked me if I wanted one of my sister's little apple fritters. And I was like, not right now. I don't want to grab my phone and film it. But then like an hour later, I was like, okay, I want that apple fritter. I'll film it and I'll eat it. And yeah, so I did a lot better. And I think what I'd like to talk to you, Brooke, and I think what the listeners will get a lot out of is you had mentioned your relationship with food. And for me, I kind of always had a mental block with that. And I think I still do. Like, I don't know, do I have a relationship with food? Not really. It's just food. But what I do have a relationship with is myself and my body. And then you also mentioned having a relationship with your body. So I'd like to hear how you worked on that. If you're open to sharing a little bit more, because I think we can give out all the tips and tricks for navigating the holidays. But if we don't have that foundation of like that, um, what's the word? I want to say intuitive. It's not intuitive. Like that connection with yourself. And I think even all the best tips in the world will still get outweighed by our inclinations. So anyways, I'm going to shut up because I just talked for like 15 minutes. Um, Tell me more about your relationship with food and how you discovered that and where you're at with it now.
Yeah, I think that's a good point you made too. Really, I feel like everything comes down to that psychological relationship that you have, like almost like a triangle, like your psyche, your body, and the food. And so, like, yeah, it's like when people are asking for tips and tricks, you could try to do all of those things, but at the end of the day, that's really what it all boils down to. So for me, I mean, I would say that going through my health issues was really eye-opening. And but I don't think anyone needs to go through a health issue to work on their relationship with their body. It was just for me, it quickly made me realize that our our health is directly related to what we're putting in our body and how we take care of ourselves. And just having that relationship with my body where it was like, okay, I'm not just mindlessly eating anymore. I can no longer do that. I have to pay attention to, if I eat this, I'm bloated, I'm in pain. If I eat this, I'm okay. I can go about my day, I can go work out. And it was just starting to actually be present in my body when I was eating food, and not thinking about like the food itself, like how's it going to taste, how many calories it is, the macros of it. All of those things weren't really that important anymore. It was like, how is this going to make me feel after? Is this going to push me further away from my goal, or is this going to push me closer to my goal? Because things like, for example, some sort of really high sugar processed food, that kind of food, I knew if I was going to eat that, it would be really awesome for the few seconds I was enjoying it, but I would feel like crap. And then not only that, but it would sit in my gut, and the sugar would cause the bacteria to multiply. And then I'm just like, making my situation worse. So that was really eye opening for me in a way that I just respected my body so much more, and what I put into it, and what, environment I was in. I just had a whole new respect for my body and what it did for me. And then now that it healed me, I'm like, never again. And I would tell myself all the time, or I would like pray to, I'm not a huge Christian or religious or anything, but I would tell God or the universe, like, if you just give me my health back, like, if you just let me be normal again, I will be perfect. I will take care of this body. Like, it will be my temple. And so now that's just how I treat it. And I did, though, still have some issues post healing. And because the whole treating of SIBO was very restrictive, like super, super restrictive. Not only am I vegan, but I also had to do this crazy low FODMAP diet for a really long time. And so I still really kind of struggled, but I had this fear of like, I don't want to binge, because if I binge, that's just going to wreck my intestines and my gut and like all this work that I did. I don't want to go back and have gut issues again. So I did go through a program. It was like 8 weeks or so, and it was a basically just like a little crash course on how to develop a healthier relationship with yourself and food. And it's by Celeste Turk, if anyone is interested. She's a bodybuilder as well. But that's where I learned the journaling technique. And that was really life changing for me and eye opening to me. And that's actually where I started making these connections, like with my health crisis, like how food was actually going to make me feel and how I was going to feel afterwards, how I was going to feel just like about my decision, about myself. And instead of thinking about like, I'm eating this and I'm watching TV, or I'm eating this and I'm on my phone and I'm working, like I had to be present. That's what the journaling forces you to do, is like be present with your food. And that was something I really hadn't done in a really long time. Like a meal was either to get me stage ready. It was like pre-workout. It was, it wasn't me sitting with my food and like thinking about, okay, how am I actually going to feel about this? How am I going to feel about this? And how's my body going to use this? So I really just feel like it all comes down to being present, and also just being really in touch with your body and respecting it and seeing food as, I mean, not necessarily, I'm not really like a food as fuel person, because I do think we should enjoy some treats here and there. I think that's really
Mhm.
important. But just being able to see food as like an investment, if you will. That's kind of
Mm.
how I see food now. Is it's like, what is this? Okay, maybe it's, if it's like, all right, this apple, like I'm gonna get all these nutrients from it. This is a really good investment. And maybe I'm having this like cookie like I did on my vacation. I ate a lot of sweets and, a lot of desserts. But the investment was I got to spend time, some good quality time with my boyfriend. We got to enjoy this cool new place. Like we made a memory. So I think kind of seeing food as an investment, it also adds more value to it in a way. So I think for both of those, I think both of those reasons, being present and then just seeing food more as like an investment, seeing it as a value is really helpful when you're trying to navigate food issues.
I love that. I basically feel like all my decision making is like based around investment, and usually it's time. Like, how do I want to spend my time today? Or it is literally money. How do I want to invest this money best? Is it good to put it into my business or into the stock market or Bitcoin or whatever? And I think having that same mindset for food. And then I love how you brought it up, like not like, oh, I'm just going to invest the best, I'm only going to eat whole foods, unprocessed, plant-based 100% of the time, because like that's not realistic for 99.9% of people. But when you do have that cookie, or you do have some what do you say, pecan pie, is that what you said you had?
Yeah, pecan pie.
Yeah, that's an investment, not necessarily in your immediate health, but maybe even like to your long-term plan. If I have this piece of pie now, I'll be able to stick onto my diet plan for another week, no problem. And I get some time with a significant other. I like that aspect. I've actually changed on my athlete check-in form, like, did you have any meals off plans or cheat days? I changed cheat day to refeed meal because I feel like refeed makes more sense for my competitors. It's not like cheating, like they can just go eat whatever they want. It's when did you literally refeed yourself, because we've been dieting. Now, for whenever I onboard a new client, I don't say, hey, I want you to have like one cheat meal a week. That's what I used to say a couple years ago. And now I call it a life enrichment meal. It needs to be a conscious meal, off plan, intentional. I typically recommend that they take their significant other or their children or themselves on a date and go get food to enjoy that alternative enrichment experience. And so I don't just want them to just go mindlessly eat a bunch of pizza and focus the whole event on the food. Because like for me, for Thanksgiving, like last year, not this most recent one, I didn't really focus on my family. I focused on the food. And this year I kind of made this like hypothetical example. Like, imagine I get a stomach bug, and there's two types. There's a stomach bug where I can go hang out with my family, I just can't eat any food the whole day. Or it's the stomach bug where I'm contagious, so my family can't see me, but I can still eat all the food. Which one do I want? I want the stomach bug where I can still go see my family. To me, that's more important. So if that's true, my actions really need to match my words, which I think this year they did, whereas in the last 9 years they didn't. So, anyways, I talked a lot about the investment side. The
Yeah.
presence, or sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I was
'Cause
just gonna say, and see, that's how it works around the holidays too, is that like mindfulness, present component is, if you think about it, I know for me, in the past, it really wasn't when I was with my family that I had the issues. It was like they would give me leftovers and I would take them home and then I would just like get hungry, stand in the kitchen and eat it. Okay, so the investment, there's really very little investment at that point, right? Like, and there's really little benefit. Like when you're with your family and everybody's like for example, enjoying Allie's yuca dish. Like it's fun. Everybody's like, "Oh my god, this is so good." Like everybody gets to share it and like talk about it and like the ingredients and like give her props and she feels good. Like it's this whole thing, right? But then if you're standing in your kitchen at midnight shoveling food in your face, like what's the investment there? So that's kind of the difference. And that's, I think, the key is to not, like totally restrict yourself. Enjoy your holiday with your family. That's your investment there. You're building a really good memory. and then just leave it at that. And if you like, I know me, I just don't take leftovers home. I just, leave it there. But it's just that mindfulness component. That's really all that it boils down to, is just being present in that moment.
I agree. I think that that presence is for me, the biggest side of it. And again, that word, be mindful, be present. There might be somebody listening that's like, I don't really, what does that look like? What does it look like to be present? And so I think you hit the nail on the head. Journaling, whether it's a Google Doc on your phone or an actual physical journal in front of you, or for me, I vlogged it. I literally said out loud what I was going to eat and how I thought I was going to feel after the meal. Um, that forces you to slow down. Like you're not. I think when you're at midnight, and I've been there more times than I have fingers and toes, where it's past midnight. I'm in the kitchen, just literally mindlessly putting food into my mouth. My brain's not there. My brain's not like, "Ooh, I'm really enjoying this food. It's so good. I'm having such a." I don't know where my brain is. It's somewhere else. And like, I almost like, I know I've had those times where I literally spent an hour in the kitchen, but like, I couldn't tell you what I was thinking about or what I was doing. Like, I just wasn't present. I wasn't there. And so, the journaling kind of like forces you to you can't presently journal if you're not present. So that helps. And then I think other things that really worked for me this year, I have been working on actual like structured breath work. However, as we talked about today, it's like it was 12:30 and I still hadn't eaten my first meal because just a lot of work came up and I was away from town or away from where I needed to be, and I forgot my laptop charger, so I'm trying to run home and get my laptop turned on. And I ate a meal really quick, but I did this. I took one deep breath before starting the meal because that forces me to slow down and be a little more present. And then I tried, this meal was not great, but 99% of them now, the first few bites, I'll go even slower. I'll really chew the food, really get to like almost be grateful for the food. And I've been doing this more and more frequently. And I'm really proud of myself. Like Allie and I went to Mellow Mushroom in St. Augustine last week. And yes, we ordered a large pizza. And yes, I ate 5 out of the 8 slices. However, I might have just been talking a lot, but I don't think I was. I was really trying to like be chewing my food and be really intentional and mindful. She started on her second piece before I was like halfway through my first one. And I was like, "Are you still on your first slice? Or is that your second?" She's like, "It's my second." I'm like, "Oh, I am winning this game of trying to slow down and be present with my food." Um, so I don't know. Those are some things that worked really well for me, like chewing the food slowly, thinking about it, and thinking about how it makes me feel, versus just like how fast can I eat this and go get another plate. Um,
Yeah,
hopefully,
exactly.
yeah. Hopefully, this is useful for other people. I feel like I wish I had gotten a grasp on this years ago.
Yeah. I feel like it's something that people may not even realize they're struggling with. I feel like it's diet culture. It's just so common now. Um, but yeah, I feel like navigating the holidays just really comes down to having some good balance and being mindful and being present. I feel like that's everybody's biggest struggle is the food, like because
Mhm.
it's just that time of year. There's just all the good stuff is out, like peppermint mocha lattes and gingerbread and all the good stuff. So I feel like that's the biggest issue. And truly, I mean, like it's like they always say, like your workout's an hour out of your day, but the
Mhm.
rest of the 23 hours you have to control what you're putting in your mouth, which for some people is really the hardest part.
Yeah, and there is that, and this is where I had like the all or nothing approach, and that's something I worked with my therapist on. Is like if you go a little bit off plan, it doesn't mean you have to throw away the whole plan. Like don't have that mindset, that black and white mindset or mentality. Because for me, I know it works. Eating out of Tupperware and eating prepped meals, I could do that for the rest of my life and not drop off and never have a binge eating episode again. I would just have to never eat anything I don't cook for myself that's prepped that way. And I don't think that's sustainable. Um, however, it's like in the short term, it's easier though. Like if you don't, for example, here's a tip. If you know you're going to have dessert and that's like a weak spot for you, I recommend starting with it because when you pair fat with sugar, they've proven this in animal studies. Probably not very vegan of them, but when you pair fat and sugar, it encourages your brain to keep eating, even if you're already really full. I mean, think about how many times you've probably been really full, and then somebody's like, "Here's one cookie," and then you're like, "Well, now I want 6." Um, they talk about the studies. They put a rodent. I don't remember if mice or rats, whatever. A rodent in a box, like numerous rodents in numerous boxes. And one box would have something that was sugar only, like Sour Patch Kids. One would have something that was like fat only, like nuts. And then the other one was like things like cookies that have fats and sugars. The rodents with just the sugars and with just the fats, they got a little bit fatter, but then they stopped eating. Like they had an unlimited supply of food, but they wouldn't overeat. The ones that had both, they just never stopped eating. They got extremely fat and then died. So it's like, it's just that perfect combination to trick your body to keep eating. Because really, in all of human evolution until the last few thousand years, we've never had a potential time period where we're going to get fat. We've always starved to death instead of overeating. And now we have swung the other direction. I feel like I'm all over the place right
Yeah.
now, but
Yeah, I feel like you can't be too hard on yourself either because this food is manufactured to be addictive. That's just like how it is now. I definitely noticed that when I was in Tulum. It's just the food there is just so different. It's just so different. I mean, first of all, the quality of like vegetables and fruits, and you'll see, I mean, you'll probably notice this when you go to Puerto Rico. It's just so much better. And it's like the food is so like the vegetables and fruit, they're just so flavorful that you don't need like a whole bunch of fat and like sugar and stuff added to it. So I think that's really interesting. But people who struggle with food, you can't be too hard on yourself because that is exactly how this industry profits off all of us. We'll see what changes are to be made from Robert Kennedy, but yeah. So that's just great book on that. The Dorito effect. It talks all about how Doritos were kind of the pioneer of flavoring food to be addictive because
mhm.
Doritos used to just basically be tortilla chips, like in the 50s or something, and then when they figured out you could make food taste like another food, like nachos or like tacos or pizza or something, like people went ape shit. And so that's why everything is the way it is now.
It makes perfect sense. Like I remember hearing some about the Doritos. Like they, I mean, from like a capitalistic standpoint or from a business standpoint, they just optimized this food to make you want to eat it. Like it's got the right amount of crunch, the right amount of salt. Um, the way that like I guess the flavoring hits your tongue, like how it's like once you eat it a little bit, you always want. It's like how many times have you had one Pringle, like, or even one pretzel or one Oreo? Like they're bite sized. It's easy to just mindlessly go through a whole bag. Um, I want to do a 10,000 calorie challenge. I brought that up with my food therapist. I was like, this might be the complete opposite of the direction we've been trying to go, but I've wanted to do this for like a year and a half now, and I haven't because of bodybuilding. But I think, like when I look at people that do like competitive eating, I haven't outright noticed that they have eating disorders. And I think it's almost like they're pretty present when they're eating. When they're doing these challenges, they're not mindlessly just watching Netflix. They're like, I'm getting down on some food. And so it makes me think like maybe there's a different way to do this. I
They
would
have a
like to
strategy
give.
usually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like it really is like well, I don't know if I'd call it a sport, but there's a strategic way that they approach getting the most food possible in like the least amount of time. It's interesting. And they actually like practice for it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I competed against Bartley Weaver, who's like top 7 in the world, and it's insane. And it really is. It's just if you haven't seen these people do it before, like it'd be like you'd never had worked out before, or like you've gone on some walks and then you try and keep up with David Goggins on a 100-mile run. Like it's insane. You're just not ready for it. I wasn't ready for it in so many ways. I was not ready for it. But I think a 10,000, well, I know a 10,000 calorie challenge will be pretty easy for me, but I think I'll be mindful and then maybe just loop in some vegan sponsors and be like, hey, give me some vegan food and I'm going to eat it. I don't know. I think if you're listening to this and you're like, I wonder if I have disordered eating, I would be really present or even just go back in your mental log of maybe the last few holidays and ask, have you felt guilty or shameful after eating? Because there are a number of times where I was ashamed of myself after eating. And I think that's a really good indication that you might not have a good relationship with both yourself and the food you're eating. Um, that would maybe be time when it's time to become more present to find out what you could do differently to not have those feelings after. Because I really didn't, up until I did have some dessert late Thanksgiving evening, and that kind of pushed me into a very, very small binge of like, I'm going to go back. I'm going to get one more, but just one more. And I went back and I got another one. So now I'm at two more and I'm like, just one more. And I went back and got another one and I was like, just nope. No, this has to be it because I've already lied to myself. And like when you're lying to yourself, it's just one more. And then you know you're going to go back and get more. It's like, well, now for me, I was like, I know I'm not hungry. I'm just being I don't know if it's right to say. I was going to say I'm being a fat ass. I'm just like eating to eat as if
Yeah.
I got nothing better to do with myself or my time. So I don't know. Any other tips or
Yeah.
thoughts for
I
yeah.
think the last thing I would add is to keep working out. You know, even if you're off your diet, I think that's something that people struggle with too. That kind of all or nothing, like, oh my god, I just totally screwed up on Christmas. I ate way too much. Like, might as well not even go to the gym. Still go to the gym. Still go to the gym.
Mm,
Like, don't try to burn off everything you ate. That would almost be impossible. But like, still work out. Your body is still going to benefit from that workout. And, you may have a really good workout because you just ate a bunch of carbs. You may
mhm,
get some great pumps. And that's something that for me, I feel like was huge in my fitness journey. I struggled with my nutrition for many years. It took me a really long time to be super, super strict with my diet. I would just, have fun on the weekends. I was in my early 20s. I just, would go eat pizza, like whatever. And I always worked out though. Like, even if I would totally blow out a weekend and it was something I was like embarrassed about, I would still go to the gym. And I feel like that really helped me build a really great foundation of muscle, versus doing all of that, like, let me, now restrict myself. I'm going to go train for like do 4 hours of cardio and like all this stuff because I ate this and that. Like, don't do any of that. That's just honestly counterproductive. It's going to stress your body out more. Just go to the gym, do your normal routine. That's all you need to do.
I I agree 100%. All the time I get clients that are like, "Hey, I'm fucked up. I ate way too much. So, what do you want me to do? I can do like I got 3 hours today. I could do 3 hours of cardio, and if you want me to cut all my carbs today, I can do all that." And I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Well, what do you want me to do?" I'm like, "What's on your plan?" And they're like, 30 minutes of cardio, go to the gym and 2,500 calories. I was like, that's what I want you to do. I want you to get back on plan. No need to overcorrect or swing the ship all the way back in the other direction. I'll say for me, if I've overeaten, sometimes it's good for me to just go on a walk. And it's not like a walk of shame. It's like, all right, probably shouldn't have done that. I got some time. I could work on clients, or if my family's there, I could go talk with my family or whatever and like go on a walk off some of the food, but really also help with the digestion process and get my ass out of the kitchen. So I'm less likely to keep snacking. Um, but yeah, the next workout should be good. You got all this extra energy. And I think the mindset here really matters. It's I'm not going to the gym to punish myself. It's like, well, I probably ate more than I should, but maybe I can lift more than I normally do. Um,
And again,
and
that's
the
being
same,
present. That's all
yeah.
being present. Because if you go into that workout and you're punishing yourself, you're in the past. If you're going into that workout and you're like, all right, I'm going to have a great freaking lift today. And I do that. I do that on holidays now. I'm totally going to eat like crazy. Well, not like crazy, but I'll enjoy myself on Christmas and have all the desserts. I mean, sure, I will. And then I'll go work out and like expect an awesome pump and be excited about it. And so, again, that's like, I'm in the moment. This is going to be a great workout. just affirm it, make it happen. Don't be in the past. It's all about that being present, being mindful.
I like that. Oh, you've hit on so many good points. Because yes, if you're doing that, you're in the past. And then we got the people. This is also more of me, the nervous Nellies that are thinking about the future. Like, oh no, Thanksgiving is coming up, or oh no, Christmas is coming up. I know I'm gonna overeat. I know it's gonna be bad, or I know I'm gonna need to go to the gym or whatever. Try to just stay present and deal with things as they come. I think that's way better for you. And then also like don't worry so much about like if it's Thanksgiving or it's Christmas, don't worry about like, oh no, I'm gonna have to weigh in tomorrow and it's gonna be bad. Like people don't realize like you might be up 4 pounds the day after, but a lot of that's probably just undigested food still sitting inside of you. It's the extra water that your body retains from taking in extra carbs and extra salt. Um, could even just be some inflammation and stress just from eating a ton of food. It's going to level out. It's going to be all right. It's one day. And then this is your chance to work on that presence and mindfulness moving forward. Dang, I feel like I had one more thought to add on to that. But like, yeah, I think this is gonna be really good for people. Like this could be a for evergreen for any holiday, for any person at any time. Being present is really only just gonna help you in your life. Cause all right, I don't know, this isn't what I was gonna say, but like the past has already happened. There's nothing you can do to go back and change it. You can learn from it, hopefully. And the future is coming, whether or not you like it, and it's gonna be what it is. I would say though, we play these stories in our head, and 99 times out of 100, they're worse than it actually is. There've been so many days where I've been worried about something that never happened. I'm like, worrying did me no good here. So I was a little worried that I might not make the podcast on time. I was like, you know what though, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be, yeah, it'll be all right. The universe will provide. So, and it ended up being all right.
Yeah, it's like that I love that Shia LaBeouf quote. I don't know if it's his quote, but he's always the one saying it in the video. Um, Everything will be okay in the end, and if it's not okay, it's not the end.
Yeah, yeah. I was talking to Alex Nears about that the other day. It's like we could worry about things, but we might die in a car crash in like 72 hours. It's like I'd rather enjoy the next 72 hours because I don't know when that car crash is coming. I don't know when that
Yeah.
heart attack is coming. I don't even, none of us know our last days. So it's like Sean is really good at this. Sean Russell, producer of this podcast, being mindful and having gratitude and viewing really, really difficult, challenging things as chances to grow and evolve. And that's something I've taken with me. Just kind of this like, I mean, you never want to minimize what somebody's going through, whether it's like a breakup or a death of a loved one, or I don't know, like your whole event you're running just completely flips upside down. However, just kind of having faith and trusting the process and believing in yourself. I mean, it either works out or you die in a car crash and it didn't work out, but at least you had a good time up until then. So I'm trying to work on that. I think we can all work on that more. I'm trying to think of any other like holiday tips. I'll put this out there. Be vocal. I told my whole family, yes, I'm gonna have my dang phone in my hand every time I sit down with a plate. And I really like I didn't ask permission. I just said I appreciate your support on my journey. I have had an eating disorder, and I'm really working at it this year. And so I might be a little weird in talking while I eat for some of the meals, but I think this will help me, and I appreciate you all having my back. And sometimes they're like, you're this influencer, blah blah blah. Like we don't like this, but like they didn't give me any shit. They just supported me. And really, last year they pulled me aside and like, what's wrong? Like that's how bad my eating was last year. That my mom's like, I didn't know how to talk to you. I was afraid of how you might react because of how weird you were being eating so much. So I'm very proud of myself. Didn't know I needed a coach for eating, but like there's a coach for everything. If you guys need a workout coach, a whole holistic lifestyle, fitness, bodybuilding, competing, anything, you got two great ones here that would love to work with you. But yeah, yeah. So I think I don't know. I don't think I've talked so much. I'm sorry, Brooke. I will let you carry on the rest of this. I'll just shut up.
Yeah, I think that was some good tips for staying on track during the holidays. We just summarized really quickly, I guess. Stay present. I think that's really what it boils down to. Be mindful. Um, think of your food or your time as an investment. If it's not going to benefit you in some way, then is it the right decision for you? And I think, lastly, lose the all or nothing mentality. Make sure that you're still working out. Don't skip out on your activity just because you ate bad. It's still going to benefit you. So, yeah, cool.
Cool. I did have one more. Sorry. The investment, it goes with food. And I think it also goes with the gym. And I think it's back to that mindset of like, it might not be your best workout ever, but it's still an investment in yourself. And promise you can find something to get better on. Like, did you have absolutely perfect form with your bicep curls this week? Maybe you're not strongest for all-time PR, but maybe you can do the best form you've ever done. And like that, I think just always trying to find that last little bit that you can give and then also get out of what you're doing. So, okay, I'm done. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, we hope you guys enjoy your holiday and you're mindful, you're present, you spend some good time with your family. Enjoy some food though. Definitely enjoy some food. Just, do something that's going to make you proud in the future. And yeah, it's the Vegans Who Live podcast. Thanks for tuning
see,
in.
see y'all next time. Bye.